Greetings from Lake County, California, and MIT OpenCourseWare Centric Wiki World University and School WUAS News and Question and Answer. I'm here with Clear Lake, the main lake in Lake County behind me, and as we wait to see if people will join us for this open news and question and answer on Monday, April 7th, 2025 at newly 11 a.m. Pacific time and 2 p.m. Eastern time, US and Canada. And I think it's 6 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time in Western Europe, and it might be 11:30 p.m. in India time and 2 a.m. in the morning on April 8th, Hong Kong and Beijing time. I'd like to share a little news with you. Uh, First, World University and School and WUS um, pushed back the time of this WS News and Question and Answer today, an hour, to attend and let also all of you know about an open and free Harvard seminar regarding genome editing and high efficiency CRISPR-Cas9 genome editing, genome engineering, and work by UC Berkeley's Honglu Shi in Jennifer Doudna's laboratory. And see agenda item 2 in today's WUAS News and Question and Answer in both blog posts for today's WUS News and Question and Answer on April 7th, 2025. That the blog posts begin Boggs Mountain Demonstration State Forest, Lake County at Monday, 4/7/25, open MIT OpenCourseWare Centric Wiki World University and School WUS News and Question and Answer with Zoom URL in World University and School.blogspot.com's blog and in scott-mccloud.blogspot.com's blog in the Global University label too there. So World University and School also would like to become a bright beacon on information technology companies' innovation growth horizon. And in what ways can MIT OpenCourseWare Centric Wiki World University and School WUAS become a growing information technology company as we seek to potentially hire 2.5 million people over the next 50 to 100 years. And both on one, the nonprofit MIT OCW centric Wiki World University and School wing, worlduniversityandschool.org is the current website, which has the tax ID numbers for both legal entities associated with this and their name at the bottom of this for searching in the IRS databases for the 501c3 guidestar.org, as well as the state of California exempt legal entity. See also the beginning website in English for World University and School at sites.google.com/World University and School.org/World-University-and-School/home. And 2, the other wing, the WUS Corporation, academic press at WUS, planned in 7,159 known living languages with machine and human translation, and the physical digital WUS educational services stores for books, computers, robotics, groceries, hospital technologies, and related. And think Walmart in 19 out of 200 countries, where WUS plans to be in each of all 200 countries and in their main and official languages. And the website for the WUS Educational Services Stores, Academic Press, and WS Corporation. Currently, in the beginning form, is worlduniversityandschool.org/academicpress.html with the tax ID number for the state of California, WUS Corporation legal entity, which is a for-profit general stock company legal entity in the state of California at the bottom of this, and the name WUS Corporation to search in BizFile online in the state of California's databases. So free MIT OCW-centric Wiki World University and School is growing, and growing with also hashtag grow with Google WUAS for free to students online degrees, bachelor, PhD, law, MD, IB high school, or similar AAAS, 2 years of the undergraduate degree, and master's degrees, first in English, then in each of all 200 countries and in their main languages. And see Peter Norvig's incredible hashtag Toolify AI WUAS, revolutionizing education with machine learning and AI, World University in School article in toolify.ai website. All the best, abolitionally friendly greetings. So I'll post the recording for today's WUS News and Question and Answer at youtube.com/Scott McCloud World University videos. So agenda item 0, check out last week's March 31st, 2025 WUS News and Question and Answer. So this is all on the first wing, the next 9 agenda items for the first wing of WUAS, the 501c3 MIT OCW-centric Wiki World University and School wing. worlduniversityandschool.org is the beginning website. There's a focus last week in this recording also of creating all museums ever virtually, and potentially even with Gemini conversational generative artificial intelligence, Gemini AI as docents in an emerging realistic virtual Earth. And also wiki creating all museums ever in a realistic virtual Earth. And so the hashtags for that on Twitter are hashtag wiki creating, hashtag all museums ever, hashtag realistic virtual Earth for museums. Agenda item 1. Regarding the 2025 MIT Harvard How to Grow Almost Anything Synthetic Biology course online, HTGAA 2025, Week 9, Cell-Free Systems, and Growing a Realistic Virtual Earth for Genetics, check out the blog post from which begins The Moon of the Earth in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, with an email to David Sun Kong, the MIT Media Lab faculty member and director of, I guess the lead faculty member at this MIT Harvard How to Grow Almost Anything Synthetic Biology course online, where I'm a global listener, and particularly also with regard to Alex Tran, a student in the course, a registered student in the course, and Yolanda Shi, another registered student in the course, slides regarding their final projects, focusing on creating a virus, a vaccine against lactose intolerance, and also working on telomerase and health span longevity. And these are fascinating projects they're working on in this fascinating course, and potentially with implications for a realistic virtual Earth for genetics, developing even aging reversal and extreme longevity vaccines, and also with a focus on telomerase, the ends of cells of chromosomes that are associated with aging process. Um, so more in the blog post for today with the agenda and news for WUS for April 7th, 2024. Um, in some of these regards, check that out. Um, but as um, World University and School seeks to develop a realistic virtual Earth for genetics, a realistic virtual Earth for aging reversal, a realistic virtual Earth for extreme longevity. Um, how could we grow in perhaps out of this course, how to grow almost anything course, synthetic biology course, a realistic virtual Earth that would also help Alex Tran and Yolanda Shi develop their potential final projects. Last Tuesday, David Sun Kong mentioned some mentors for Alex Tran and Yolanda Shi regarding their final projects, and potentially, possibly because of the questions that I had sent Alex Tran and Yolanda Shi regarding their slides, their projects, the previous week. So potentially we can focus on developing these questions further in interesting ways. And in a related vein, I asked David Sun Kong and Alex Tran and Yolanda Shi how to possibly begin to develop uh, their synthetic biology projects further, and even with the new Google AI Studio, aistudio.google.com, at the molecular level. And perhaps by adding central dogma of molecular biology videos as YouTube videos, URLs, web pages to aistudio.google.com as a way to first build out in a realistic virtual Earth at the molecular level central dogma of molecular biology, and then potentially to further develop a realistic virtual Earth for synthetic biology, which begins to address the slides they're developing with their mentors for this How to Grow Almost Anything Synthetic Biology class. And from this, could we potentially build out digitally a viral cure for lactose intolerance? And also regarding Yolanda Shi's research question, quote, mature human cells express low amounts of telomerase linked to degradation of chromosomes and age-related senescence. Cancer cells overexpress telomerase, enabling uncontrolled cell division. Can we find a balance while transiently modulating telomerase expression? So that's her research question, and perhaps a realistic virtual Earth for synthetic biology at the molecular level, as well as the cellular level, Google molecular level, molecule level, Google cell level will help with this. Yolanda, she also mentioned a paper, an academic paper, and actually a dissertation from Stanford, a Stanford University student in 2014 that perhaps informs her work. The title of that paper is Telomere Extension Using Modified TERT, T-E-R-T, mRNA to Lengthen Health Span, which was a dissertation submitted to the Neurosciences Program and the Committee on Graduate Studies at Stanford University in 2014. Interesting approach to potentially studying at the molecular level extreme longevity developments for health span. Stay tuned. And in a related Google AI Studio approach to developing a realistic virtual Earth, agenda item 2B, how could we develop a realistic virtual Earth, realistic virtual Harbin? And please visit the Harbin Hot Springs Gatehouse appear in Google Street View, which you can enter into or find through a Google search. And for 3 different years, 2024, 2017, and 2012, and to which in Google Street View, for example, the Harbin Hot Springs Gatehouse in Northern California in Lake County, to which we can all add photos and videos as well. So how could we all help build out a realistic virtual Harbin Hot Springs, a realistic virtual Earth at the Google Street View with time slider level, to complement synthetic biologists and biologists growing a realistic virtual Earth for synthetic biology, and at the molecular level, potentially with adding videos and pictures. And as World University and School seeks to build out a realistic virtual Earth for genetics and a hashtag realistic virtual Earth for synthetic biology, with text in the sidebar, hashtag text in the sidebar, hashtag graphs in the sidebar of Google Street View with time slider, G cell view, G molecule view 2. And another presenter last week in How to Grow Almost Anything synthetic biology course, which David Sun Kong is the faculty lead, was by Ali Huang with an MIT PhD, I think, possibly a Johns Hopkins PhD, and who had worked with the space program, and also with educational projects for doing online synthetic biology from home. Educational projects, one in particular called BioBits. So in this email to David Sun Kong and Alex Tran and Yolanda Shi and Ali Huang as well, main presenter last week, how to build such a realistic virtual Earth, and especially a hashtag realistic virtual universe, a vast idea that would include, and for education, and possibly with digital biobits, and e.g. at WUAS with a realistic virtual Earth for STEM, as classrooms and field sites. So a realistic virtual universe in this conceiving would include at the G atomic level, Google atomic level, the Google molecular level, Google cell level, cell view level, as well as the Google Street View level in space. So presumably as spaceships move out through the universe, taking video, that this could be added to a realistic virtual universe at the Google Street View level, at the Google spaceship video level, at a kind of Street View level, out the spaceship portals, for example, or through spaceship video camera lenses. Thanks so much, Scott Gordon MacLeod. And as World University and School seeks to build out a realistic virtual Earth for synthetic biology, a realistic universe too for space exploration, and as WUS seeks to lengthen health span, grow approaches to both developing vaccines to reverse aging and for extreme longevity and to lengthen health span. Glad a team may be growing further in some of these regards. So agenda item 2, there was this morning at 10 a.m., just about an hour and a half ago, an open and free Harvard seminar for genome engineering on high efficiency CRISPR-Cas9 genome editing work by UC Berkeley's Honglu Shi in Jennifer Doudna's laboratory. And that was a seminar at Harvard in Zoom video at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, which I just attended. Um, Hong Lu Shi writes on his Twitter post, making an announcement for this. I'll be talking about our Cas9 work. If you've ever wondered what the recipe is for high efficiency CRISPR genome editing, come hang out. Um, and a fascinating scientist with a remarkable understanding of what's going on at the molecular level in Cas9 processes, CRISPR Cas9 processes. I asked also in this his talk how we might do this in a realistic virtual Earth for genetics and at the G molecular level as well. Agenda item 2B. And could we further perhaps add his research into a realistic virtual Earth for CRISPR and in the Chinese language at World University and School, since he's from China, and for Frida students, WUS, MIT, OCW-centric World University and School degrees from home even, and in the Mandarin language, Chinese, planned in traditional Chinese, and MIT OpenCourseWare is in 5 languages, including traditional Chinese, and potentially we can build out of this at World University and School for Chinese students, Chinese student researchers from their homes in China, helping to potentially develop further research into molecular and cell biology in a realistic virtual Earth for synthetic biology as they work toward getting their free to students MIT OCW-centric World University and School WUAS degrees from home. So agenda item 3. This is coming into conversation with Stanford's Francis Fukuyama's talk on April 3rd, 2025, online, which I attended, which was about how to develop, let me see if I can say the exact title, how to develop, so the title of his talk on Thursday, April 3rd, was Bureaucratic Autonomy and the Problem of Delegation, where Fukuyama took a kind of sociological approach in looking at a number of large bureaucracies and regarding how delegation works. So I asked Google AI, Google Generative Conversational AI, after this talk, how best Google AI, hashtag Google AI on Twitter, to use IT, hashtag AI and MLWUAS, Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning at WUAS, World University and School, to develop hashtag hierarchical structure in 2 organizations, a university, World University and School, and a large retailer, both in 200 countries. And this question of how to develop bureaucratic autonomy and regarding the delegation of authority at World University and School was remarkably addressed well by Gemini AI in its reply, as well as to the question how to develop hierarchical structure in 2 organizations, a university and a large retailer in 200 countries. Check out these replies from Google AI in regards to these 2 questions. Pretty remarkable what artificial intelligence is helping to shape in terms of conversational generative responses by artificial intelligence and Gemini AI here. Agenda item 4, coding at World University and School and at WS Press for most of all 7.9 billion people on the planet will be great for 200 countries, censuses too. So a set of tweets about this. Coding at World Univ and SCH at WS Press on Twitter for most of all 7.9 billion people on the planet for hashtag free universal education from home, hashtag MIT OCW centric wiki, and with hashtag grow with Google WUS will be great for 200 countries, censuses too, and building from the US Census every 10 years. But now with AI and machine learning, and potentially in quasi real time too. So real time. This will potentially alter the approaches to censuses. And I retweeted a tweet I shared, I think, in 2023 from a Google Government and Educational Summit 2021 presentation, A Clean Sheet for Document Management by Alexis Bonnell and Kyle Brooks. And regarding, so it's a video, check it out. Google's Alexis Bonnell was or is a service-oriented in regard to data management and working with the US government. And a set of tweets further continued. One, hashtag US State Department's perspective on hashtag artificial intelligence for hashtag immigrants, documents, hashtag WUS planning for 7.8 billion people, a hashtag Wikidata Q item, and at WUAS. And in 200 countries. So further, and also WUS seeks to end poverty too by coding for 7.9 billion people by distributing a single main cryptocurrency like Stanford Mine Pi cryptocurrency, free money daily, and via the U at World University link wiki page and the nation states wiki page, which is planned for 200 countries, each a major MIT OCW centric World University and School, and the languages wiki subject or wiki schools planned for all 7,159 known living languages and speakers of these in all 200 countries. And also for electronic avatar agent electronic health records for all 7.9 billion people as well. And in a hashtag realistic virtual earth for medicine, a hashtag realistic virtual earth for genetics, and a hashtag realistic virtual earth for aging reversal in one realistic virtual earth, hashtag for everything. And think Google Street View with Time Slider, Gmaps, Gearth, TensorFlow AI, and with Little Pegman becoming our hashtag avatar agent for each of us, for you and I, and for electronic health records. And at the G cell view level and the G molecule view levels too. Agenda item 5. I just came across Open Education Global, OE Global, email in my World Univ and SCH at scottmccloud.com email account, and added this agenda item to also, and their email address to the emails for today, April 7th, 2025, Monday. So I sent them at Open Educational Global, which they're in the greater Boston area, regarding free Creative Commons 4 licensed MIT OCW centric Wiki World University and School planned in all 200 countries and in their main languages, and as wiki schools for open wiki teaching and wiki learning among speakers of all 7,159 known living languages, and as large language models too. And see there the links, the 2 links regarding their work in today's agenda and news. One is Open Education News Alert from March 2025, and the other is a LinkedIn address for Open Education Global. Agenda item 6. This is related to my physical digital ethnographic field site, ethnographic and STEM field site, physical digital Harbin Hot Springs in Lake County in Northern California. And regarding a concept of troop bonding, which John Money, PhD with a Harvard PhD, characterized as bonding together in a group without which our primate ancestors wouldn't have bred or wouldn't potentially have survived as well. Troop bonding being a concept of determinism, one of 5 concepts of determinism that he identifies as exigencies of being human. So John Money observed troop bondage as an interesting exigency of being human. So I created a set of tweets in some of these regards regarding troop bonding of our primate ancestors and the Harbin Hot Springs pool area, where it is warm when it's warm for hanging out naked, and also regarding Japanese macaques in onsen. Are there parallels here between troop bonding and Harbin Hot Springs, the Harbin Hot Springs pool when it's warm and hanging out naked, and Japanese macaques in onsen? I think there are. How to study this further? These are evolutionary biological questions and primatology questions as well. So the set of tweets reads, troop bonding of our primate ancestors and Harbin Hot Springs pool area when it's warm, hanging out naked, and Japanese macaques in an onsen. Parallels, question mark, with a picture of the Jigokoduni hot spring in Nagano, Japan, where macaques do hang out in the winter to keep warm. Hashtag troop bondage and John Money's concepts of determinism, which include this troop bondage idea. When did humans separate from chimps? I asked Gemini AI, and it's replied about 6 to 8 million years before present. And find this an interesting possible further direction for study in a realistic virtual Earth for primatology, a realistic virtual Harbin Hot Springs. Think Google Street View with time slider. Can we time slide back to 6 to 8 million years ago, and even examine speciation, which occurs, the splitting that occurred between our chimpanzees and humans, but also observe troop bondage and how it might have parallels with today's troop bondage that shape our potential destinies even. Read John Money, PhD, Harvard PhD, originally from New Zealand's Concepts of Determinism, which is online. So that's also in the blog post from a few days ago in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, April 2025, that begins Bonobo. Agenda item 7. Is there a proof of concept regarding de-extinction of the woolly mammoth with the recent engineering of 4,000-year-old decayed woolly mammoth genes? I assume they're 4,000 years old, into a living mouse species, into living mice, that then allowed the mice to grow woolly mammoth hair, with some remarkable photographs of this process. So I would assert that there is, of George Church's research and work on the woolly mammoth de-extinction project. I created a set of tweets in these regards. Hashtag proof of concept, de-extinction of hashtag woolly mammoth, which died off about 4,000 years ago. How to de-extinct individuals even, and including hashtag Sunheart at Harbin Book, who is my main ethnographic informant and friend for my first large anthropological book published in 2016, Naked Harbin Ethnography, where Sunheart was at Harbin as a Harbin resident from 1980, about 1980 to 2019 when he passed away. Could we de-extinct Sunheart as an avatar agent with AI and machine learning WUS and natural language processing? So take recordings of Sunheart and images of Sunheart and bring Sunheart alive as an avatar agent. And also, for example, hashtag Gordon K. MacLeod, MD, my father, and with proof of principle, bring him alive from, again, he passed away in 2007, with genetic engineering from myself and my brother, for example, Sandy MacLeod, and in a realistic virtual Earth for genetics, building on these remarkable photographs of mice species growing 4,000-year-old or older woolly mammoth hair as a proof of concept of the de-extinction of woolly mammoths. So this is retweeting a George Church, Harvard and MIT professor of genetics in the Harvard Medical School's recent Twitter post, X post, showing some pictures of these mice growing woolly mammoth hair. Mice are still alive, obviously. Agenda item 8. This Wednesday, there's a Stanford Law Codex Day-long inaugural UN, United Nations, AI, Artificial Intelligence for Good, Law Track Conference at Stanford Law School event on Wednesday, April 9th, 2025 at the Stanford Law School. It's free. It's in person. It's from 8 a.m. in the morning to 5 p.m. You'll find the link in both blog posts for today, for example, for World University and Schools WUS News and Question and Answer for Monday, April 7th, 2025. Agenda item 9, last agenda item on the World University and School wing, the MIT OCW centric Wiki World University and School wing, which is a 501c3 nonprofit. A happy yoga birthday, Andrew Junker, 2025, of Brain Fingers invention. It's a brainwave headset that allows one without words or gestures, potentially with, I think, 3 sensors in the front of this brainwave headset, interfacing with a computer allows an individual to choose letters from a QWERTY keyboard, typing keyboard on the computer screen without words or gestures, for example, only using brain waves or brain fingers. So a happy yoga birthday, Andrew Junker, 2025, and in Yellow Springs, Ohio. I've tried this device in Greece at an Angela Farmer and Victor Van Koten yoga workshop in, I think, 2007, possibly 2004, on the Isle of Lesbos, in Eftelu, where Angela Farmer and Victor Van Koten have their yoga hall, and find this research, brainfingers.com, fascinating, potentially for a realistic virtual Earth as well, for brains and brain science, and for yoga too, in interesting ways regarding consciousness, regarding meditation, yoga meditation, and how such a brain fingers device can in new ways through this digital hardware, this technology, create a way to interface with a keyboard, a digital keyboard on a computer screen without words or gestures, and write out words just with one's brain, for example, such as the words "Hello World." Uh, it's a very slow process. It was checked out by Stephen Hawking. Andrew Junker told me years ago, before Stephen Hawking died, who was a paraplegic, and also by, I think, the NIH and maybe by U.S. Uniformed Services wing as well. It's an interesting research opportunity further as this and many other brainwave headsets by different researchers develop. Happy birthday, Andrew Junker, and let's stay in touch about brainfingers.com and regarding yoga as well. So the second of two WUAS wings, a for-profit general stock company legal entity in the state of California, the WUS Corporation, WUS Press, planned in 7,159 known living languages with machine learning, machine translation, and the World University and School.org/academicpress.html is its current main website. So this is an email to the panelists on a Stanford Rock Center in the Stanford Law School conversation titled The Reincorporation Dilemma. Should your company move out of Delaware, which happened last week, early April 2025. And with much mention by the panelists of companies moving out of incorporation out of Delaware, they're for-profit companies, and into Texas and Nevada. But there are 50 states in the U.S., and I suspect that there many other states have been chosen by companies to move if they're thinking about moving out of Delaware because of new developments in the law, limitations on incorporation there legally, for example, for being incorporated in Delaware. So the email to them reads, "Greetings. Thanks for your excellent panel, The Reincorporation Dilemma. Should your company move out a bit early?" This panel happened last Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. Dear Kristen, Amy, Grant, and Kristen, panelists, the three panelists and the moderator, I left a bit early to return to a MIT Harvard How to Grow Almost Anything synthetic biology class, and in WUS seeking also to grow a realistic virtual Earth #for synthetic biology in the event that you answered this question. Here's the question I asked in the text chat. Kristen, Amy, Grant, Kristen, what about the state of California's law here? Because they had been mentioning Texas and Nevada and Delaware, but not California. And I was interested regarding also the WS Corporation. Quote, Kristen, Amy, Grant, Kristen, what about the state of California's law here? How does the state of California in this conversation offer, quote, a well-established and predictable legal framework and business-friendly courts? Thanks, Scott G.K. McLeod. And regarding one, the WS Corporation, a for-profit general stock company legal entity in the state of California, which hasn't really grown since 2017 when we incorporated out of meeting a presenter in a Stanford Law Codex talk then, and also regarding WS's first wing, MIT OCW-centric Wiki World University and School, WUS, a nonprofit 501c3 U.S. federal legal entity. And thirdly, on the nonprofit wing, a tax-exempt legal entity in the state of California too. So with their expertise in for-profit companies leaving Delaware, I wanted to and emailed them about how the WS Corporation might best further develop in the state of California and in relationship also to our other wing, the nonprofit 501c3, World University and School. So I haven't heard back from them. I've included them in the WS News and Question and Answer emailings. So further in these regards, the WS Corporation and Academic Press in 7,159 known living languages with machine translation, and the WUAS Educational Services Stores for books, computers, robotics, groceries, hospital technologies, think Walmart, which is in 19 out of about 200 countries, where WUS seeks to be in all 200 countries per the Olympics and in their main languages, seeks to multi-list, list on many stock exchanges. So, for example, on the emerging Silicon Valley long-term stock exchange, possibly the NASDAQ or the Standard & Poor's or even the Dow Jones Industrial 30 or so, and possibly also multi-list on stock exchanges in each of all 200 countries and in their main languages. And in seeking to code, in WUAS, seeking to code for most of all 7.9 billion people on the planet, each a Wikidata PIN number from you at World University, and to distribute Stanford MindPi cryptocurrency free money daily, which you or anyone can get from mindpi.com/SGKMAC, and with WUAS, and with which WUAS has a partnering letter, and potentially to end poverty worldwide even, as well as create at Wiki World University and School a free universal education among speakers of all 7,159 known living languages. So further to Kristen, Amy, Grant, and Kristen, question, how would the for-profit general stock company legal entity in the state of California, WUS Corporation, best multi-list on these stock exchanges and interoperate with the non-profit 501c3 U.S. federal legal entity MIT OCW-centric Wiki World University and School, WUAS, and regarding state of California law, offering a well-established and predictable legal framework and business-friendly courts. Thank you, best regards, friendly greetings. So these are ginormous company creation processes to multi-list on 200 countries with information technologies and potentially with Stanford MindPi cryptocurrency as well, is an incredible coding project, but also a remarkable opportunity for these lawyers, for example, and possibly Kristen Segan at Sidley.com in Chicago, in particular, or Amy Simmerman in Delaware, or Grant Reed at Atlassian in San Francisco, who's on the state of California bar, lawyer, as a registered lawyer, a licensed lawyer. And I shared with them also World University and School's monthly business meetings minutes from 3/15/2025 regarding our company's process for further developing such both wings of World University and School, but particularly here, the WUS Corporation, for-profit general stock company legal entity in the state of California, and regarding their expertise in why companies are leaving the state of Delaware and incorporating in other states as well. So that's the WUS news and question and answer for today, Monday, April 7th, 2025, newly at 11 a.m. Pacific time this morning. I'm Scott McLeod, and we'll post this to the main Twitters, twitter.com/worlduniv and SCH, twitter.com/WUS press, the recording, as well as first to the main YouTube channel, youtube.com/Scott McLeod World University, and both blog posts for today, beginning with Boggs Mountain Demonstration State Forest, Lake County, California, Monday, 4/7/2025. If you have questions or know of students who are interested in potentially matriculating at World University and School, as we further develop the accreditation process, you can email me at president@worlduniversityandschool.org. And until next week, April 14th, 2025, Monday, at also new time, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. East Coast time. Until then, until next time, bye for now.